if you have the results, if you can actually show that, hey, here is a list of channels that we've grown, then it's a lot easier to convince the person in front of you. Videos by Mr. Beast though get a lot of views, but the people who watch his content are probably younger, right? MarkitUp made like around 12 lakhs in the last month. I made like around 17 to 18 lakhs on my YouTube channel. So that was pretty much it.
Hi everyone, before we begin, I would like to share that this podcast is brought to you by Prime Venture Partners, an early stage VC fund led by Amir Somani, Shripati Acharya and Sanjay Swami. Prime is often the first institutional investor in category defining tech startups in fintech, SaaS, healthcare and education such as MyGate, Quizzes, Planet Spark, Bolt and Clip. To know more about Prime, visit primevp.in.
Hi, this is your host Siddharth Aluwalia. Welcome to 100x Entrepreneur Podcast. 100x Entrepreneur Podcast gives you tools to become 100x of yourself. We interview some of the best entrepreneurs, venture capitalists across the world, which share their mental models on how they became 100x of themselves. Through this, you can apply their methods and learn on your journey to 100x. I believe this has helped me in the last 3 years doing 170 episodes on 100x Entrepreneur on my journey to 100x. Today, I have a person who has grown 1000x. So this episode is really special. Ishan is the founder of MarkitUp. Welcome, Ishan, to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for inviting me over here.
Ishan, I share a special relationship with you since, you are a partner to 100x Entrepreneur. And I have seen you grow, right? I have seen you when you left your college. You left your college at the age of 19 years and right now you are 20 or completed?
I am 20. I'll be turning 21 next month.
Birthday wishes in advance.
Thank you so much.
So Ishan, tell me about what drives you.
I think what drives me is the messages I get from people who have watched my content and they just reach out to me through in-person events or through emails saying that, hey, I watched your video and then I applied whatever you said into my own life, in my own career, and that helped me get my first client, make my first $1,000, get my first job in my life. So all of that is what gets me up and running. Every single morning I see those emails and I get really pumped up. And that's basically what my motivation has been. Initially, my motivation was to improve my communication skills, and slowly I realized that there are better motives that I could have. So that's basically how it all started.
And take us back through your journey, right? You applied to IIT JEE. You couldn't get into it. You got into one of the best colleges in India, BITS, Goa. But that rejection,
right,
that pained you deeply. So what are the next steps that you took to, overcome that pain?
So I remember the day the IIT JEE Advanced result was announced, the result was delayed. It was supposed to come at 9 o'clock in the morning, but it came at about 4 o'clock that day. And the entire day I was super nervous. I didn't know what the result would be. I knew I didn't completely crush the paper. I was fairly confident that I would at least make the cut. I would at least get 7,000-8,000 rank or something, which wasn't the best, which wasn't what I planned, but it was what it was. I always made this thing sure that once I'm done with IIT JEE, I will just never look back. There are people that say that, okay, IIT nahi hua in first attempt, let's try once more. Let's take a 1-year gap. I was clear that I will not do that because that's just not the best way to utilize my age, this age that I have right now. So I looked at my result. I could not clear IIT JEE Advanced, and that was a very strange day in my life, right? I was sad. That day it was raining in Mumbai. Me and my father went out for a long walk, and I was just thinking, kya ho gaya ye life mein, right? 3 years I have put in. I started going into coaching from 10th grade. I was preparing for NTSC exam. After that, I started preparing for KVPY. Then I started preparing for JEE Mains, JEE Advanced. JEE Mains ho gaya, JEE Advanced nahi hua. So I was just wondering ki ab kya karu, right? And thankfully, I had given 2 more exams. One was for VIT and one was for BITS. VIT maybe I got CS, and in BITS I was getting electrical engineering in Goa campus. So I ended up choosing BITS Goa. And one thing was clear that I haven't accomplished anything in life, right? So I always had that bug ki kuch reh gaya, right? There's something that I could accomplish. So I just made sure that the moment I get into college, I'll try to best utilize my time. right, from first year itself. So I made it clear to myself that I will not be wasting my time trying to roam around the campus. I will not be wasting my time, in activities that most of the people were doing in first year of college, because they were having fun, right? They were having the fun of their life. But I knew that I had to do something different because I was just not satisfied with where I was in life. So that was my mindset in 2019. And I started programming right on the day when my JEE Advanced exam ended, right? So I remember that day. It was a very long day and there was a lot of traffic. There was this place, TCS Iron. That's where the exam was. And then we went back to Kandivali. It was a long 2-hour drive. I came back and I immediately opened up Udemy, got the first best-selling course of Python, and I started learning programming. Installed Python, installed all the softwares, VS Code, and I started programming. And from that day onwards, I just kept upskilling myself. So I started also reading a lot of books. The first book that I liked a lot was that one called Hello World by Hannah Fry, in which she talks about the applications of artificial intelligence. So all of that was really amusing for me. So that was my journey. I learned to edit videos. I learned to communicate myself better with the help of this YouTube channel. I learned to design carousels and posters and thumbnails with the help of internships and of course my YouTube channel that I started later on. So that was my mindset and what I did over there.
Do you remember the date you started your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so that was 8th January 2020. That was when I put my first podcast, which was an audio podcast on Spotify, converted that into a video by putting a static image and just having that audio in the background. That was my first video. I think my very first video was me documenting the first month of whatever happened in Pilani. So I was like, this first month has been amazing. I got to meet some amazing people. I got to hang around with seniors, with alumni as well. There was a ceremony over there. So I want to document all of that and keep it somewhere. So that was my first project. It wasn't like I want to do YouTube full time or anything like that, but I just wanted to keep it somewhere. So that was my first video. September 2019 is when I uploaded that. But I actually started uploading videos consistently from the 8th of January 2020. So yeah.
And why did you do that, right? Is it you wanted to grow a huge subscriber base or you wanted to get popular?
So it was December 2019. We were about to have our final exams for the whole semester. And one day before my prop stats exam, I was just laying down on my bed and I was just thinking, ये पूरा semester किया क्या मैंने? Like, what did I gain out of it? And 1 week before that day, I had this hackathon. It was from Microsoft. It was a 24-hour hackathon and we had to talk and explain and sell our project to the judge. And I was not able to speak. I was not able to explain the application of what I had built in the last 24 hours. I thought a lot about that why was that the case? I was not able to communicate well. I was not able to sell this idea to that person. And there was a group of 10 people over there in the room. So I thought I had to improve this. And that's when the idea came to my mind, let's start a podcast. So I started on Spotify, and most people in my college that did not know what a podcast was. Every single time I went to lunch, I always used to sit with a new person right next to me. And I was like, hey, I launched my new podcast. You should listen to it. And he was like, podcast kya hota hai? So a lot of people did not have knowledge about podcasts. And this is like 18-year-olds who should be knowing everything, and they don't know how to listen to a podcast in India. So I thought everyone knows what YouTube is and how it works. So I just transitioned into YouTube, started putting audio content, audio podcasts every single week on Sundays. Then I started doing video podcasts. Then I thought that even I can speak in front of the camera and deliver some quality value to the audience that is watching this video. So that's basically what my journey was and how I started. Then the pandemic hit, we came back, the lectures were boring. So I thought, let me just put all of my time and energy into learning new skills, meeting new people, and then making as many YouTube videos as possible. So that was the story of how I started.
And so coding is the first skill that you learned by yourself. Making content for YouTube, doing podcasts, doing videos by your own is the second skill. What are the other skills that you learned yourself?
I think with the help of MarkitUp, I learned to also hire people. I learned to understand what are the basics of a business, right? I also learned a lot about machine learning. So that's another skill that I had. I learned Python, then I eventually got into data science and machine learning. Then I realized that machine learning is a field in which I have to do a lot of research. And that's not something that I want to get into in my first year of college. So I went a little back. I got into web development and I started exploring that. That was in 2020. And luckily, my senior from college, Mehul Mohan, just reached out to me in May of that year. And he was just like, hey bro, we want someone who can market our product. That was Codedam. And we want you to talk about it. And I was at that point learning a lot about marketing. I was heavily inspired by Gary Vee and Viral Abadia and other people. So I used to watch a lot of videos and courses about Facebook ads. And I used to learn a lot about viral marketing, about marketing in general, listening to as many videos as possible of Seth Godin. And I just wanted to learn as much as possible at that point. So that's what happened. After that, I started working with him as a growth marketer in Codedam. I worked there for about 7 months. I was at a point at which they just had 3 paying customers. And right now they have like 3,000 or something. So I helped them try using multiple traction channels and see which one works the best. So that's basically what my work was over there. So yeah, I did all of those things. I learned a lot about like marketing, about just human behavior in general with the help of YouTube. I understand what people want, what are their needs, right? That Maslow hierarchy of needs. So I learned all about that.
So I would say that categorized into psychology, that skill, right? Mm-hmm. Psychology, 4th skill that you learned is marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And machine learning you have already told about, but you figured out that area is, you don't want to go deeper.
It's interesting, but it requires a lot of time for me. And I wanted to go as much broad as possible in first year of college. There's this thing called pie-shaped learning, right? Know a lot about few things and know something about everything. So that's what I wanted to do in my first year of college.
And when did you make your first money?
It was 18th of July 2020. That was when the YouTube monetization turned on. I had like 3,000 subscribers back at that point. 6 months I've been working, uploading a video every 1 or 2 days. And that's when I got the 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers. And I got $1 on that day. That was a very special day, right? Because I didn't know that you can actually make a living doing that. I was just doing that for fun, right? Like Naval Ravikant says, do something that looks like play to you, but feels like work to others. So I just used to do that every single day.
And tell us about your journey building content since then, right? The day you first monetized the $1. After that, how did everything transpire? The first 10,000 subscribers, how did it happen?
I think luckily my parents were very supportive of me. So they were just like, you attend all the lectures and by 4 o'clock, you do whatever you want to do. We don't care, but at least attend the lectures. So I used to try to attend the lectures, which was always a daunting task for me. Then focus on how can I myself learn something and then share my learnings with people. Or I thought about what is it that the audience really wants. What would I want to teach myself 1 year ago, right? So that was what I thought. So I knew that I wanted to talk about skills that people can learn. I wanted to talk about programming. I wanted to talk about career in general, how people are able to get jobs in FAANG companies. And that is what the audience wants. So I delivered exactly that. I did a lot of podcasts with people who are in this field, collaborated with a bunch of YouTube creators. And by the end of 2020, there were like a group of creators that were being formed in this industry of like coding creators or college YouTubers, right? Started talking to them as well, made a bunch of friends. And that was a great period because previous to that, I just used to do everything myself, right? Then I met people like Yash Garg, Love Babbar. I talked with all of these people. They became friends and we meet every single month today.
And do you remember the day you hit 10,000 subscribers?
10,000 subscribers, I don't remember that. It might be, I made a post about that somewhere, but I don't particularly remember that right now. 100K, I remember I made that in March last year. 100K, we hit that. And right now it's 4x of that number.
Awesome.
I'll soon be hitting 500K subscribers. So that's another milestone. But the first 1,000 is always special.
What's your learning, right? Going from that 3,000 subscribers when you hit your first $1 to reaching 100,000. What works on YouTube?
I think what really works is either you try to entertain people or you try to give advice that is contextualized for them and try to be genuine. And stories work really well, right? I have found out that whatever stories I talk about my life have worked out really well, right? I recently made a video, 7 lessons I would like to tell my teenage self. That video did really well. I made a video of my tragic IIT JEE preparation experience. that one got like 500k views. It's still getting views right now. So stories work really well. People want to connect. People want to relate with you. People want to see that, okay, ye insan bhi hamare jaise hi hai, right? So they want a relatability factor, and that's what makes YouTube different, right? There is a difference between, Hollywood celebrities and their movies and us creating not so highly produced content, but creating stories that people can relate to. So that's basically what I think works on YouTube. Of course, you need to also master the thumbnail, the title, and all of those things are really important, the metadata for it. So that's what I will say. It's all about understanding the human brain and what they really want.
And how did you master, for example, let's say thumbnail in your journey?
It was a game of experiments, right? So I used to watch a lot of Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn is a great YouTube creator. I used to watch a lot of Think Media. So all of these people are into YouTube growth, right? They made a lot of videos about how to get your first 1,000 subscribers, how to get your first 100k subscribers. So they made a lot of those videos. I used to make notes on every single point. I used to study every single creator, trying to understand what worked for this person, what worked for that person. And I also learned about audience demographic, right? So a lot of people that get a lot of views who just make random videos, like for example, Mr. Beast, right? Videos by Mr. Beast, though, get a lot of views, but the people who watch his content are probably younger, right? And then we have people like Akshay Srivastav. He's an amazing creator, and he makes videos that are in-depth, like 20-minute long videos about finance, about politics, and like geopolitical issues and all that. And he gets viewed by people who are much more mature, and they have a higher paying capacity as well. So I think I learned all of that. And how can you understand which creator is more valuable than the other? There was also this creator who got a lot of YouTube fame very quick. In just like 2 months, he made roast videos of Whitehead Jr. So he was trending a lot back then, and he got a lot of traction. So I was working in the influencer marketing segment in Kodam. So I thought, let me experiment with this. So we did one integration on his channel. We got 0 ROI on that, right? We paid him like $500 and did not get a single rupee or dollar back. And that was because he was early, and people did not know him or connect with him that well. People were just laughing along with him on his jokes, on his videos, and that was it. There wasn't any human touch connection with the audience that he was able to form. And right now that creator is not doing anything on YouTube. So I learned a lot about all of these things. I also learned about how creators have a lifespan, right? Either you keep reinventing yourself, or you know that it's not exactly a career, it's an opportunity that you have as a creator. You can either go into the entrepreneurial way, you can launch your app, you can launch your service, course, whatever it is, or you can try to go into Hollywood. So that's basically what I learned.
And when did you form MarkitUp? Like, when did you start monetizing besides your YouTube? What were the other sources?
So the funny story about that is I used to get a lot of messages from companies by the end of 2020 saying that, hey, you seem to have grown your channel a lot, and we want you to create similar content on our YouTube channel. So here's a offer. You become a content strategist on our YouTube channel. You show your face and you make videos for our channel. And I got this offer from like 3 or 4 coding at tech companies. So I thought, why not work with all of them and launch my own agency, right? And prior to that, I was working as a freelancer, so I knew a little bit about how all of this works. But again, launching your own business, doing all of that, sales, I didn't have much experience of that, because till then, all the reach and the clients I was getting was inbound, right? I haven't been on like a sales call with a client or something. So that was my experience. I just called up my roommate. I was like, bro, what are you doing these days? So he's like, kuch nahi bro, chill kar raha hu. Let's just try to build something interesting. So he's into Instagram. He helps a lot of companies with their Instagram. So I thought, you handle Instagram, I handle YouTube, and we'll try to build this from scratch. So the initial clients, we got Coding Ninjas as one of our clients. We got Rashamani is also one of our clients. We got a lot of clients. So my learning from all of that was that if you have the results, if you can actually show that, hey, here is a list of channels that we've grown, then it's a lot easier to convince the person in front of you. They're already convinced. They just want to see how well can you contextualize the strategy for them particularly. So that's basically what it was all about. I launched a video on my YouTube channel saying that I want to give this opportunity to the viewers, that I will get clients and I want you to work with me for all the clients that I have. So it was like a two-way thing, right? My audience was getting value and the people that I was working with are also getting value. So that's basically how all of that happened.
And today, how many clients you have in MarkitUp?
We have 14 clients and we have 25 people working remotely.
Wow.
And that's basically what we have.
And if you can, I know you have shared a video on your income, but let's say if you can share, let's say your May 2022 income, and what's the bifurcation in each category?
MarkitUp made like around 12 lakhs in the last month. I made like around 17 to 18 lakhs on my YouTube channel. So that was pretty much it. It's about 3 lakhs on YouTube AdSense and the rest is brand deals. Then there is affiliate marketing from Amazon, which doesn't pay as much, which is surprising to me. For some reason, there's some issue with my Amazon affiliate because of which it just doesn't show the sales. Everyone else is making a lot of money on affiliate marketing, right? I don't know what's happening over there. Then I have not launched my own course. I don't want to do that right now because I feel like it's a part of my journey in which I need to grow a little bit more, then launch a course maybe. So that's basically how the income side looks like right now.
Dear listeners, before we dive deep into the podcast, I would like to have a quick conversation with Prashant about Zoho Payroll, Zoho's payroll management software. Prashant Ganti is the head of product management at Zoho Payroll and Zoho Books. Prashant, what does Zoho Payroll do and what is the story behind it?
Zoho Payroll is a payroll solution from the Zoho suite of products. It's designed from the ground up to completely abstract the payroll complexity and put your payroll compliance on autopilot. We mean that a business needs to know just who their employees are, where they work, and how much they get paid. And on putting your payroll compliance on autopilot mode, what we mean is there are ever-changing rules and regulations that affect your payroll. Payroll takes care of all those things.
Thank you so much, Prashant. Listeners, let's further continue with the podcast. Can you describe when you got your first brand deal and what it took to reach here? Similarly, in MarkitUp, what it took to reach to this point in time?
The first brand deal. So I was working with an academy as a coding instructor, right? I made a playlist on Python on my YouTube channel itself. There are 5 videos. They are still available right now on YouTube. I just made that. I got like 20, 30 views at max. But someone from an academy seemed to watch that video. They just approached me on LinkedIn saying that, hey, we saw your playlist on LinkedIn on Python and we want you to teach students. And we are launching a new category. That was a strange thing. I didn't know कि ऐसा भी होता है मतलब, right? मतलब 20 views से क्या ही होता है. People might think कि अरे इससे क्या ही होगा. But there's always an opportunity that is there and you might not know when it knocks. So I just started talking with them, got the deal and started teaching students. I taught coding on an academy for about a year. I taught 350 hours to over 1,000 students. These were all like kids in school. So they just reached out to me saying that in October, that was my first brand deal in October 2020. We are doing this carnival and we want you to talk about it on your channel. So here you go. How much would you charge? I didn't know how much to quote. I had like 7,000 subscribers back then. So I just quoted like 5,000 rupees randomly. And they were like, okay, fine. I was like, 5,000 milta hai. Because like back at that time, my dream was, you go to IIT JEE, crack it, get into IITs, you go through that procedure, then you get to interview, and if you're lucky, you get a 12 LPA package, right? And here I'm sitting here in my own room and I'm just making videos and this brand is ready to pay me 5,000 rupees for 1 minute integration. And I said yes to them and I made one video for them which was integrated. I was always cautious. I thought that my audience would not like integrations. They would always be like, big yeah, aisa karke. They say that a lot. So I thought that might happen, but that surprisingly did not happen. So I just used to ask my audience every single time, how many integrations is enough? If I do 15 videos every single month, how many of those do you want to be, you are okay with me integrating a brand in that I personally trust? And they were like, you can integrate as many brands as possible as long as they're useful to us particularly. That's what I used. I tried to start with one integration, then two, then three, and that's how it started. For MarkitUp, I think when I launched that first post on LinkedIn saying that I'm launching this agency where we'll help you grow your YouTube channel, the same day itself, I got a call from Stoa, Raj Kunkolyankar. He just reached out, says that, hey, you're also from Bits. You seem to have grown your channel a lot, and we would love for you to help us grow our YouTube channel as well. That was the first client. After that, Coding Ninjas was another one. The trick that worked with MarkitUp was that because I was getting a lot of brands on my own YouTube channel, I used to divert them and offer them another deal saying that, yes, I'll integrate you in my videos, but we can also help you grow your own channel so that you don't have to do these, high volume deals with other influencers. You can have your own content that you can work on. And that's how it worked out. We got Coding Ninjas was the first client. Then we kept getting more and more.
Marketing spend is zero for you. What does the sales engine look like for MarkitUp?
So it's completely organic, right? I make videos on my YouTube channel. I talk about what I'm doing on LinkedIn, and people just DM me saying that, hey, Ishan, I looked at what you're doing, and I'm working in this company, or I started my own company, and we want you to help us grow our own YouTube channel. That's completely organic. I just get people messaging me or emailing me, and that's how I just do a conversation with them, and that's how it happens.
So, Ishan, what's your goal right now for MarkitUp and for your own self as a content creator?
The goal right now is to, first of all, focus a lot more on storytelling. I've been making a lot of 10-minute long videos in which I'm just talking to the camera and just doing one thing. That is one thing. I also want to do more in-person podcasts like here we are doing right now because I feel that the connect is a lot better. So that's the goal for my content. For MarkitUp, we want to focus on a lot more optimizing and automating all the things that we are doing. So the first 6 months was all about me and Saransh doing everything ourselves, right? So we used to divide our work. We were uploading all the videos on the client channels and all. Then we hired Simon, then we hired Uday, we hired Niladri and other people as well. And these people are now hiring all of the freelancers that we have under them, right? So that's how it works.
But where do you want to take it to? Let's say in terms of, if you talk about in numbers, where do you want to see yourself in next 1 year?
Numbers, I don't really know about numbers because it's a lot more uncertain. I'm also focusing on trying to build a product with a couple of my other friends. That is the one more startup I'm working on. I don't have any number goals as per se because I never knew that I would be here right now at this point, dropping out of college 1 year ago. I never thought of that. I wanted to become a software developer, but things change. I just know that I have to talk a lot more about how people are doing something great in India and how they are building in India. So that's what my focus is going to be, and trying to create that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Promote that, or trying to help people discover other career options that they can get into. That was basically what my motivation was when I was first getting started, and that's what it is right now as well.
And how many brand collaborations you do in a month right now?
That is depending on what brands I have and how it looks. 10 to 15 I worked with them. So that was on different integrations. But like, if you just talk about the brands, I think there were like 7 to 8 brands and we had multiple integrations. So yeah.
So you charge like roughly 1 to 2 lakh rupees per brand.
Yeah. That's how it works.
But that you see that income stream growing over a period of time?
I think it will grow, but that's not the income stream that I want to care about. I want to focus on a lot more about building an asset that can pay me afterwards as well. Sponsorships and integrations are great, but you might never know when the algo stops recommending you, right? And someone new might come up and YouTube is always trying to focus on how can they prioritize newer creators, right? So either you start a new channel, either you reinvent yourself. So that's what I know. And I know that this is not going to last for a very long time, but it's of course great while it is here. And I need to just focus on how can I build something long lasting. That's why MarkitUp is here. And I now want to focus on building a product as well.
So MarkitUp, you want to completely automate it so that Ishan is not required on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, like that is happening today as well to some extent, but I want to get to a point at which we can take care of everything by the team that we have. And my involvement currently is just basically acquire the client. That's what I'm here for. And then I trust my team to do all the work. So that's what we do. We are always hiring for video editors, for designers, for content writers, for project managers. So that's always there.
And how much do you pay per month for these kind of a role in editor?
It depends. Like, for example, there are editors in MarkitUp who make like 70 to 80,000 per month as well. Then we have people who are working here full time. Right? So, for example, Simon is a third year student in a college. He deferred from sitting in placements in his own college, and we gave him an offer as well that he showed to his college, and the college is way more happy to let him do what he's doing. So we are also offering him revenue sharing in our own company. So it's sort of like giving ESOPs, but in this case, we want to share whatever it is, the profits that we make with him, so that he has been working a lot in the last 1 or 2 years. And so we want to make sure that he gets duly rewarded. So that's one example. We've also helped a lot of people get jobs in companies, right? So there was this one guy who we trained in our cohort, and he got a full-time offer of like 15 LPA to work as a designer in Codedam. Right, so that's another example of how we're empowering people, helping them get opportunities. So that's what we do. How much we normally pay, it can depend. Right now it ranges from like 25,000 to 50,000. That's how much we pay to Simon. And yeah.
Tell us about how does your day look like? Like how do you structure between content creation as a solo, in podcast, in MarkitUp, and the new product that you're building?
So I get up at about 7:30 in the morning. By 8:15, I'm in the gym. I spend about 1.5 hours in the gym. That's a new activity I'm adding to my daily life. And it's great because I really want to focus on my physical health. As people can see, I'm not the fittest right now. So I've been sitting a lot, and that's not healthy for me. So I want to change that. Other than that, once I'm done with the gym, I come back, I get my breakfast, and then I start with the day. So the day basically starts with looking at the emails, trying to make sure that everything is running fine. I look at what's happening in MarkitUp, what tasks we have, what are the problems, how can we solve that. Then I focus on hiring. So that's like a routine that I have to spend like one or 2 hours just trying to go through different submissions. So basically we do contests every single weekend in which we give them a video to edit or a thumbnail to create, and whoever creates a great thumbnail or a great video, we try to offer them some sort of a collaboration way we can work together. So that's what we do. Then I think by the evening or the noon time is when I start recording videos on my own channel. So that's what takes up a majority of my time. Just trying to think about how can I convey this idea, scripting it out myself, trying to create brand integration scripts, then just, following up with some guests that I have called for my channel. So I do that. By evening, I think I focus a lot more on like just learning from books, podcasts, videos. That's what my evenings are all about. And night is basically just about chilling right next to the pool over there and just listening to some music, songs, talking to people. That's what I do in the evening and night time.
To listeners, if you don't know and haven't observed, we are right now sitting in Ishan's new home in Bangalore. This is Ishan's pad.
How do you like it?
It's wonderful. It's quiet, it's serene, it's on 30th floor, and you can see mountains from here. What else do you want?
I think that is what was the case with Pune, the house we had in Pune as well. So I always want to prioritize having like a peaceful environment where I can focus properly. So yeah, that's what my goal was in Bangalore.
And why did you move to Bangalore? Because of the startup scene in Bangalore?
Yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I moved here. I feel like there are a lot more brands that I can work with. I can go to their offices and I can try to talk to them, meet new people. There's a lot of opportunities that you can get. In person is always way better than doing like Zoom calls. It works. Zoom also works. I've been doing it for the last 2 years, but I think this will accelerate your learning for the audience if they want to come here and accelerate their growth in their career.
So you are telling everyone to move to Bangalore?
Like whatever works with them, right? Like you can also move to Mumbai if you're into creator economy. That also has like a lot of opportunities. There are startups like Tag Mango, they launched their own creator pad. So you can travel to the city that has the most opportunities, work over here in the initial part of your career, hustle, and then you can decide wherever you want to go. You can work remotely later on. So that's what my mindset is.
And you mentioned in one of your videos that you are glad that you dropped off your college. Mm-hmm. Right? But the thought of dropping off was very uncertain, right? For you, your entire family. That
right.
It's just 2 years more and then you could do whatever you want after you have a degree. Mm-hmm. But what made you choose not to spend another 2 years in college?
It was 1 year that was left in my own college. So I gave myself a chance. In the first week of March, I decided that I will at least try it out and see it for myself. If I really like college, and if I can manage doing MarkitUp, doing my YouTube channel, and doing my college at the same time. So I went to my hostel. The hostel room was quite small. It was tiny. I only had space for me to sleep, and then there was a table. That's all that it had. And I was not able to put my camera, as you can see, like we need some space to record videos and all. And the environment would also be peaceful. And the hostel environment is far from peaceful, right? There's always someone ranting, someone playing loud music and all. So I always used to record videos in the night time, right around like 12 or 2 o'clock in the midnight. That messed up my sleep cycle. The 3 weeks were all about me trying to experiment and see if I can manage everything. The college Wi-Fi was trash. It only had like 2 GB limit. My videos are like 10 GBs long, right? And I have to work on multiple videos every single day, trying to review all the videos. So it was just not working out. I then just reached out to my director in college, and I just told her that I'm not able to manage everything myself. And I know that I can do something big with my YouTube channel, and I'm in that trajectory of growth. 2 months prior to that, in January, my channel had 2 million views. And then in March, I had 6 million views. And it was only going to go higher. I knew that for sure. So I knew that it's going to grow a lot more than what I have right now. So I just reached out to them. I tried to explain her everything. So I think I can grow a lot more if you give me the opportunity. All I ask for is to let me get a proper studio outside of the college, just right next to it. I'll hire a place and I'll live there on rent, and I'll come here for all the exams and things like that. And they were stubborn. They all have their rules. So she just told me that we have our rules. We will not break them. 5 o'clock is when the classes end, and 10 o'clock is when you need to get back to campus. You can do whatever you want in this time period of 5 to 10, but you just cannot stay outside of the campus. That's not going to work out with us. So I said, it's totally fine. Then I'll have to drop out of college. And the look that she had on her face, third-year student from Pilani says that he wants to drop out because he wants to pursue some YouTube channel on which he's getting 6 million views. She could not digest that. She was just like, "Aisa kaise bol diya?" She's like, "You sure you can try? You can sustain this?" And I'm like, "I think I can do something. I'll do something with my YouTube channel. I have the distribution. I have people who trust me, and I have acquired some skills along the way as well." So I just said, I will do my best, and I can do this properly for the long term as well. And seeing that you're not able to cooperate is only going to hurt you in the long term. So that's what I just said. And I just left the place. I just called my dad on 27th of March. And I just told him that, hey, let's just go back. I had proper studio lights, right? Those Godox lights with me over there. So he just came with me. I had the monitor as well. So we picked up everything, and then we went back home. So that was the whole story about me dropping out. I think it has helped me out a lot. I can now think a lot more clearly. That was a very toxic period, March. However, the numbers were always great because I just focused on that. And my sleep schedule, my eating schedule was all messed up. I had those, dark circles all the time. I was always sleep deprived. And I just had to get out of that loop. So I just took the leap of faith.
Oh, glad to see that, you are now happy with your family. You're eating home-based food cooked by your mom.
Maa kya aata khana.
And you are able to accomplish what you want to accomplish right now.
Right.
And your family has come with you, shifted to Bangalore so that they can support you in your dreams.
It's always great to see your parents being supportive, right? A lot of people message me saying that my parents are not supporting me, I'm trying to start something new and they're not supporting me. They're just saying ki degree khatam karo, fir jo karna hai karo. My father was also of the thought that I should at least complete my degree. A lot of seniors in my college, a lot of alumni I talked to, they were all of the thought that at least complete your degree. You won't get these years again in your life. But I just said that I don't care. The problem was also that I didn't have that connection with my batch in college. That was also something that I was just like, anyways, don't know a lot of people in my own batch. I have a few friends and I could not relate to them. So I just thought that I'm focusing on this business, trying to learn more about how marketing works, trying to grow my YouTube channel. And these guys are just worrying about their internship in some random corporate office or something. So I just thought that I had to change. I had to get a better place in which I can work with like-minded people. So that's what I did.
And I think by the time you dropped off, you were earning more than a placement could offer you.
Yeah, so it was actually 10 times the highest package in my own college, what I was making in that month if you multiply that by 12. So that was completely sorted. I don't have any, fantasies of like buying a yacht or something. I'm a very simple person. That's how I like to be. So I know that I don't need to earn a lot to, sustain myself. So that's how it is.
So how do you differentiate your incomes? For example, let's say you earned last month 12 lakhs. That is MarkitUp. You have built a separate company for that?
Yeah. So MarkitUp is a separate entity, MarkitUp Media Private Limited, and I have a separate entity myself. That is my YouTube channel.
And that's a private limited also?
No, that's a sole proprietorship actually. Yeah.
Got it. So whatever money you earn, that goes into solo proprietorship through YouTube.
Yeah.
The MarkitUp goes in that, and that is you
completely separate.
Growing the team.
It used to be in my own account, right? Like you also used to GPay.
I used to GPay you.
Right. It's not the case anymore. Right now we have a proper account in which all the sum goes. I made a big mistake, right? I didn't know that you need to get a GST number after you cross 18 lakhs revenue. So I have to pay a lot of GST right now that I did not put up previously on all the invoices that I was taking. So I learned a lot. Yeah, that's how you burn your hands and you learn.
So what do you do with your own money? Let's say you earned last month 18 lakhs, right? You live a simple life.
Yeah.
You don't want to buy Ferrari at least right now.
I have been traveling a lot more, right? And I love spending on experiences. So I'll be going to Dubai next month. So I want to just experience as much as possible and then document this experience of mine. So that's what I spend majority of whatever I am spending, which is still a very small percentage of what I make every single month. My focus is just that I get to like $1 million of money that I have in investments and all.
So how do you invest?
I just invest in ETFs. That's it. I don't have the time to think about which stock is going where, right? It's too tricky. I used to look at the charts every single day back in 2020 and 2021 as well. But then I realized that this is just not the right way to optimize, not the best way to spend my time. So I thought the best way is to increase my active income and then let me just invest every single month certain part of whatever I'm making into the stock market through ETFs and all that. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And most of your, I believe, the YouTube income goes into those ETFs.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And do you draw any salary from MarkitUp right now?
I'm not doing that. My co-founder is getting salary because, of course, he doesn't have any other source of income. So it makes sense for him to draw a salary.
And how much you think you will be investing into the new product business that you're building?
We are unsure about that. So we'll only figure that out as we go along. Right now, the co-founder that we have is tech-based. So he can start out with the basic model for that. But he is leaving his 200,000 job in Facebook. So we are aware about that and we have to make sure that he is happy in the project that we are working on. We have seen a lot of interest of a lot of people who we just met. We met like Praful Billore and he was like really interested in our idea and he was like, just call me up whenever you need like an angel round. So that's always there. So I feel like because we have the connects and because we are having this book through which we get to meet a lot of amazing people, this will help us a lot when we're trying to build our own venture. So that's how it is. I actually got a call from Kunal Behel on the week I launched MarkitUp. So he had recently invested into Blue Learn, which is a Bitcoin startup from Harish. And he also invested into Pepper Content, which is from Pilani. And they're also doing amazingly well, raised like $14 million. So they just wanted to see what we are doing and if we are building like a product that they can invest into as well. So I got on a call with him. I did not expect that this would happen, right? I just talked with him. He was like really really inspiring what you guys are doing at this age. So we explained him what we are doing. He realized this was not like a VC investable business. So he said, whenever you build a product, just call me up and we'll talk about it. So that was a great experience. I didn't expect that I would be just meeting Kunal Behel all of a sudden.
Awesome. Did you meet him in person till now?
I have not met him in person, but I will definitely want to do that. He's also in Bangalore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he's in Delhi right now.
He's in Delhi.
So tell me, Ishan, you are here, right? Almost being financially independent, right? Even if you just keep this engine going of MarkitUp and content, right? It will go places by compounding, right? And you are now launching your own product. So what is enough for Ishan?
I think I don't have a definition of enough. I'm also 20, so I don't know the answers to all the philosophical questions. I'm just trying to figure things out. So I won't try to sound I have all the wisdom in the world. I just know that I love working with great people and I just love creating value product. That could be a video, that could be some offering that we can have, right? So we ran that experiment of a cohort in which we taught people graphic design for completely free. And that was really great because we saw a lot of people get value from that. As I said, what motivates me is people reaching out to me and telling me how my content has helped them get value and get opportunities in their own career. So that's what motivates me right now. I don't have a definition of enough. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, that's how it is. I take this question to every single person I meet and I ask them. I ask this question to Varun Maya. I ask this question to everyone that I meet. They all have their different answers and they say that nothing is enough, right? Like, if you are working on something that you love, why do you need to get to a point at which you will be satisfied? You would always want to be on the treadmill. So that's how it is.
But do you want to change treadmills?
I want to do that, yeah. So that's why I'm getting into product, right? I love just this idea of like building something with a team and then launching that, trying to get more users, trying to get it to the next level by raising funding and all that. That game is fascinating to me. So I want to play that game as well. So I've been doing the bootstrap model. I have been doing a distribution game as well. Now I want to get into this thing as well.
Right now you mentioned you have a ballpark number of $1 million in investment.
Yeah.
What does that
No,
change?
I don't have that right now, but I want to get that at a certain point.
That you want to reach here.
Yeah,
That's a milestone for you.
Right.
Why is that number important for you?
So that's just basically the global, if you just look at any study, they'll just tell you that if you have like $1 million in the bank, you get like 10% interest, inflation is 6% or something, you get like 4%. So the rule of 4% is always there. So $1 million, 4% is enough for you to sustain a living wherever you are living, sort of. So there's this website called as Nomad List made by Peter Levels. So on that, you can see where do you want to live and how much money would it require for you to live there and get to that FIRE point, right? Financial independence, retire early. So you just want to get to that point and then you can just do whatever you want to, right? So that's just like a number that I have in my mind that we might cross, let's say, in how many years.
And what is one thing that is missing in Ishan's life?
I think what's missing is more people that I can talk to freely without them judging me or without them finding an ROI and talking to me. So that's what's missing.
But aren't your co-founders?
Co-founder is there, but co-founder is there only for the business part, right? Yeah. I mean, I can talk to him if I want to, but I think that the point at which I am at, I would like to talk to more like a creator who's trying to build something. So I vibed a lot with Ranveer Labadia when I met him in Mumbai 2 months ago. So that was fun. So I want to meet more of those people.
But you have some sort of mentors right now who you just bounce off ideas with?
Yeah, all the time. I talk a lot with Varun Maya. I talk a lot with Ayush as well about what I'm building. And of course, Ranveer is there. So all of these people, Amanda Tarwal I met recently. So I've learned a lot from all of these people and they have been like the role models that I looked up to when I was building my own YouTube channel. Then I realized that it's not a good thing to idealize someone and everyone has their own imperfections that you should take into account as well when you're trying to think about them as your target that you want to achieve or something. So that's what. So
earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, you wanted to be like Ranveer, but now you don't because you realize everybody's walking their own path.
No, earlier I wanted to be someone like Amanda Tarwal, right? Then I realized that I just want to be me, right? I am a lot different from any creator out there who's on a bigger level. I just want to focus on being the best version of myself. So that's what my thing is right now.
And what are you doing, let's say, to making sure that your growth engine is getting the inputs? For example, for me, it's reading or...
I read a lot. So I have recently been reading this book called as You're Too Good to Feel This Bad, right? In which they talk about, it's basically like a self-help book, but a different approach to it, more like a Stoic philosophy point of view on how you can live life. So I'm reading that book. I have read a lot of books on entrepreneurship, read the journeys of Nike, of Elon Musk, of Steve Jobs. So there's a lot to learn from them. I want to read that book, Delivering Happiness by Tony Hsieh. So that's always there on my bucket list. So that's what I do. I listen to audiobooks basically whenever I'm on flights and also I love to listen to all of that. And I'm trying to learn a lot more about Stoic philosophy. I want to follow that. And that is what, like, in this world of like social media, you get tons of likes, people saying you're the best, you want to become like you. And then you would eventually get a hater who says that you suck, right? If you put too much importance on that one person who says that you're the best, then you'll also be feeling sad equally when someone says that you suck, right? So you have to be at a state of mind at which none of those affect you. And when you can do that, then you will be in the optimal state of mind if you want to become a creator. So that's what I learned from Gary Vee, and that advice has absolutely changed my life. So I don't take it too hard on myself when someone says, it's always good to take constructive criticism, but there is a small difference between offering feedback and offering hate. So I've learned to distinguish between both.
And have you explored doing a 10-day meditation retreat on Vipassana or something like that?
I want to try out Vipassana. So I was reading this book, which is a story of Will Smith, right? Will. And in that he talks about doing that, and that was a life-changing period in his life. So I want to do that at some point. I do meditation like 10 minutes every single day, so that helps out a lot. Ranveer Ballabhadia does like 2 hours of meditation. So I don't know how does he get the time to do that, but that's something that he has been getting a lot of value from. So he just told me that he should also try to do a lot more, increase it by maybe like 5 minutes every single day and see how it works. So I have been doing that, but properly doing Vipassana is something I have to do. It's tough for me to pause everything, right? Like everything is working. I have more brands coming in. I have to put out videos. I'm on this treadmill to create 15 videos every single month. If I don't create, then the views go down. So it's hard for me to take a pause and just go out, because then the views go down. Everything goes down with it. So right now I have to focus on this. But I would definitely like to experience that as well at some point.
But that's a fear that you have, right?
I have a fear, yeah.
What is your biggest fear right now?
I think my biggest fear is me getting ahead of myself, like getting to that point of being like egoistic or something, right? I should be down to earth, and I should know that any minute all of this can be gone. That's how I should live life. So that's how I think about it.
But you also have a fear that these views tomorrow can come down.
Yeah, that's why I don't overhype myself, right? And that's how it should be.
But do you think you are humble right now as a creator, but for some other creators that you interact with, that has gone into their head that they are superstars?
Definitely, it goes on to their head all the time, and that's when we see the downfall. I study a lot about all of these people. I study the rise and fall of fund managers. I recently read this case study of Peter Lynch and what happened with him. I was learning about Warren Buffett as well. Warren Buffett used to get crazy returns back in the day. Right now, because his fund size is so much, he cannot find those multi-baggers, because those will be like penny stocks or stocks that have lower valuations. He has like $100 billion to invest. So he cannot get those crazy returns. So he's struggling at this point. So I've learned about that. Peter Lynch, who thinks more about empiricism and not as much about rationalism. Everyone would just be looking at the numbers, crunching all the numbers to come at a point at which, okay, this is a great stock that you should buy. And he, on the other hand, just walks into a mall and observes people and what they are doing. So you would look at how people are looking at this one clothing brand and how everyone is flocking towards it. Maybe the clothing brand is not the best financial wise, but because he sees that the customers are drawn towards that brand, he would want to invest into that. So that's basically him focusing more on the day-to-day activities and then taking decisions of investing into that company or not. So I learned about that from him. His downfall was basically him realizing that he doesn't have any goals. Initially, he started making money, finding ways to make money because his father was no more. Right, so he got into investing. He tried his best to make money as much as possible, became a fund manager. He was working in Fidelity. And then he started taking hold of the Magellan Fund. And he got like 29% annual return for 13 years back in 1970s. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from all of these people.
So do you watch Netflix or anything?
I consume Netflix, but I only watch like few documentaries. Recently, I haven't been getting time to watch Netflix at all.
But do you feel burnout doing so many things right now?
I do feel burnout. That's why I go to the gym, right? It helps me out a lot. It helps to clear my mind. So that is definitely great. I just relax in the night time. So that's great. The weather over here is great as well, so that helps out as well. So I just like to be like in a peaceful state of mind, like here we are, right? So I can just go into my room, I can sit at one place and just think about what I want to do. I'll take my iPad out and I start just writing whatever it is that I have in my mind and just get it out there, out of my system. I used to journal a lot when I was in school, so I used to just write down whatever it is that happened throughout the day and what was my learnings through that. I have recently resumed that, so I'm writing my diary entries again. I recently looked back at what I was doing when I was in 11th grade, and that was really a great introspection or reflection point. So yeah.
And do you believe in manifestation?
I think execution is important. Manifestation is more like a placebo effect. There are a lot of people who say that it works. I saw that one video by James Jani in which he was talking about how this is completely pseudoscience. So he proved that with a lot of different case studies. I personally just think that execution is really important, and that's what I had focused on. And then with execution, of course, you'll get the results, right? And then you can say that, okay, you were always thinking about it. You manifested getting to 500k subscribers. I was just worried about the next video that I have to upload tomorrow. That was my mindset back then.
So if I observe things from your journey, you are more worried about the machine rather than where the machine go.
Yeah, I just have to do the work, right? I don't need to care about what subscribers and views and all that. That will come later on, right? I just focus on creating a great video, creating a great strategy for the client, and then just executing that and seeing the results.
So today, if you can share, let's say you do 15 videos a month on your YouTube channel. If you can share a process of the work you put in one video, what's that?
So my solo videos are basically, let's say I'm talking about college grades versus skills. That's a video I made recently 2 months ago. So for that, I made a list of all the questions, all the things that I would want to touch upon. So I just made a few pointers. It was like 3 or 5 pointers. And then I put that in front of my table, just like this laptop was kept over here. And I was just looking at it, referring to it. And then everything was pretty much natural. So I just speak on it.
You don't prepare for it?
It's not helpful. Like, I recently made a script for the Google video I did, and that was tiring. It took 1 complete month for all the back and forth that goes. Google was like, ye naam change karo, ye aise nahi likhna, aise likho, aise mat likho. They are very much worried about their branding. But in general, I don't like the process of creating a script. Script is great when you are making a short. So in a short, you have a time constraint of 1 minute, and you have to make sure that the audience gets the most value in the least amount of time possible. The hook matters, the first 3 seconds matter, and then you also have to keep them engaged, keep giving them the hits that, okay, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, so that they're hooked on and watching that reel particularly. So in that case, I focus a lot more on the script, and that works out really well. I made that video about Masason and his journey. So that one got like 700k or 500k views on YouTube. And that was only because I planned it out in advance. What should be the first line I would say, how it would basically go, and what will I say at the end that will keep people hooked, and they would also message and put a comment over there. So that's what I planned for.
If you have to, let's say your today $1 million investments are solved, what would you do now?
I would focus on building something that would be a product that I would focus on. I would then just focus on that basically.
Then you would stop putting time in YouTube or anything?
No, I would make YouTube content as well, but then it would, I think by that point I would have just talked about everything that I want to say. And then it would either just be podcasts, or it would just be, just stories or updates of what I'm doing, what I'm working on. So that's what it would be.
And how far away are you from that milestone?
I don't know, 3 years maybe. 2 to 3 years. It can also skyrocket. I don't know, maybe by the end of next year I'm over there. Yeah. So we'll see.
So one philosophy, which my partner in life and partner in everything, Nancy, was here. We discussed this. When we got exit, we got very few lakh rupees from our exit. So what we said let's put everything, because this is money which we got from startups. And Nancy today is, everything behind 100x Entrepreneur. She leads, she works on it full time. I'm giving a part of my time only in it. So we decided back then that we'll not build a house, we'll not go for a car, we'll invest in experiences, but whatever money we have, we'll invest in startups. And this is 2017. until now, right? We made one exit, which we invested like 3 lakh rupees in eBike Go. That company gave us back 20 lakhs. But today that invested amount is, if I, for example, companies like Plum Insurance, Neiman's, Airmeet, Infido, and many such companies, that if today, even if we go get, I think, one exit out of it, we can probably retire.
Awesome.
That's how we thought of it. We didn't plan it because it was super risky.
I have to learn about how this works. 3-4 people have reached out to me saying that you should also do like angel investing and all, and you should start writing checks and all. I want to learn about this before I jump into it. It seems exciting, as you said. You give me the FOMO right now.
No, it's not FOMO. It can go either way.
Right. Definitely.
It can go either way.
That's always there.
Only one exit out of our 30 plus investments, right? And it's not that we are getting offers daily to buy our equity, but yeah.
That's definitely there. I think I got an opportunity like 1 month back as well. There was some startup. You were like, you can participate. I was like, I don't know about all of this. I'll just stay in my circle of competence.
Yeah. That you learned from Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I learned that from him.
Nice. Thank you so much, Ishan. It's been wonderful, right? So amazing to do this in person with you.
Yeah, definitely.
And knowing you from the last 6-7 months closely.
What advice would you have for me?
I think keep doing what you are doing, right? Don't get distracted. I think, in my opinion, people, once they achieve certain stuff, they start getting bored of it. And boring is good. Boring is good. Keep on doing the boring stuff.
Boring stuff is important.
I think 100x entrepreneur, where we are today, right? It's because just that me and Nancy focus on the joy of doing podcast. That's it. With each episode, we are doing because we both want to learn something new from each episode. That's it. No monetary gains is there, right? For monetary things, we have other things that take care of it. But yeah, this is stuff I think which we will keep on doing for the next 10 years also.
Awesome.
If I'm not the host, then Nancy would be the host today. But
you should be the host.
yeah. But yes, I think the process matters for us. Like one episode every week has to go out. One of our best episodes recently has been which me and Nancy are talking. And that's because, last week we were supposed to record with you.
So you both got a podcast together.
We both did a podcast together. And that performed really well.
That performed really well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So thanks to you. Now we are thinking of...
Maybe that's a hint.
We are doing more such duets on the podcast.
That can work out really well.
Thanks, Ishan.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, man. Super.
Yeah.